Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. The Saskatchewan Health Authority officials are sounding the alarm when it comes to the COVID-19 situation in the border city. The medical health officer for the health region, that includes Lloydminster, says that uncontrolled community transmission is on the rise. As of today, there are 633 active COVID cases in the Northwest, and close to 55% of those cases are in Lloydminster. Lloydminster Hospital is under deep pressure with 24 COVID-positive patients. That ranks the hospital fourth in the province when it comes to COVID patients.
That tells you that the pressure on our hospitals due to this high number of cases in the communities is a reason for concern, definitely.
The fourth wave is being driven by the Delta variant and impacting unvaccinated people. Of the active cases in the Northwest, 82% are among the unvaccinated. Currently, 63% of eligible people are fully vaccinated in the region.
If more people get vaccinated, what we expect to see is a gradual decrease in the number of new cases. And with the gradual decrease in the number of new cases, we'll definitely see also that gradual decrease in the number of active cases.
Besides getting vaccinated, wearing a mask and practicing physical distancing are the best ways to limit the spread of COVID, according to the SHA. Lloydminster City Council is taking a step forward to repeal outdated bylaws.
What I think part of our motivation at the outset was to make sure that our policies are up to date relative to today's standards and today's world.
Council granted first reading to a bylaw this week that would repeal some outdated bylaws. These include a park bylaw dating back to the 80s, a tree bylaw that will be replaced by a new tree planting policy, and the LCSC committee that is not needed after the implementation of the city's new public art policy.
And you don't get to pick and choose. You really need to look at all of them because there are many little pieces and old policies that worked 10 years, 20 years ago, but really have no context or meaning today. I mean, an example of that would be information around social media.
The bylaw will face second and third reading at a future council meeting. A local golf course is taking its fundraising efforts to new heights this weekend. Estate Lakecraft has more on the club's helicopter ball drop.
Today on Primetime Local News, I'm joined by Heather Walker from Rolling Greens Fairways, and she's here to talk about a unique fundraiser that's coming up this weekend to coincide with the course's 30th anniversary. Welcome to the program, Heather.
Yeah, so we're really excited to be celebrating our 30th year this year. We have made about 3 different plans due to COVID, and we're still continuing to adjust as needed based on what's happening right now. We've been talking about this since the spring, this version of what we're going to do, and wanted to, we really feel like we're a family-owned and operated business. Rolling Green started with the same family that it still belongs to. We feel very passionate about our community. We do things all year long to sort of, be a part of that community and to do what we can to sort of help things along. We really wanted to have that be a part of our focus for our anniversary celebration. So talks were underway quite some time ago, and we are excited with what we've come up with. So again, we have changed that plan already a couple of times. We want to make it as safe of an event as we can based on the current situation. COVID numbers, we're comfortable to feel safe. So we're making it strictly an outdoor event to kind of coincide with our member, guest, family, and sponsor tournament that we're going to have that day. So earlier in the day, we're going to have a bit of a tournament, just a 9-hole fun tournament, family, friends, kids, parents, just a nice family day out on the course. And following that 9-hole event, I'm going to have outside tables set up all over, distanced if people, feel that that's their comfort level. We are excited to welcome Sarah Davis and Kevin Kraft to an outdoor stage that we're going to have set up for a couple of hours in the afternoon. They're going to be playing their local band that I've worked with a few times in the past. So I'm excited to have them kind of join us for some afternoon music. There will be an outside bar available. And then we are the big, I guess, grand finale, so to speak, is we are excited to welcome Synergy Aviation they're going to do a flyover at 4:30. They're going to drop 250 balls on the 9th fairway. And whatever ball lands in the hole, gets closest to the pin, what have you, that person will win up to $5,000. And the other $5,000 is going to be donated to Lloydminster Minor Hockey and the Goats Christmas Wish. So basically we have 250 balls that we're selling, caps out at that. Last time I checked this morning, I think we had about 55 left to sell. So we're really hoping we get the rest of those sold so that we can do the full 5,000 to both the charities and to the winner. You don't need to be on site to win, although it's going to be pretty cool. So everybody's welcome to come out if they so desire for that time. And yeah, they'll, like I said, they'll fly over at 4:30 and they'll drop them out of the helicopter and we'll see who wins at the end of the day. So we're excited for that. I think Jason Whiting's going to come out and do some streaming, do some live streaming of the event. We'll obviously have some photographs happening, and just want to make it a fun outside event for family, for friends, for people in the community, and do something to give back as well. So.
And where did the idea for this helicopter ball drop kind of come from?
It actually came from, we did have talks with some members of the GOAT actually in the springtime, what they were going to maybe do to be a little bit of a part of Rolling Green and vice versa. And it was an idea that one of their salesmen had seen when he was working in Grand Prairie. I thought it was a great idea. It really added that extra element that we were looking for, rather than just having a banquet or just having, it just kind of added something that I thought people could get excited about. And as we're all excited about it. I hope the community's excited about it. I think minor hockey's excited about it, as is the Christmas Wish. So yeah, it actually came from them, and we rolled with it and went out and found somebody that was willing to do it. And so we're excited to promote them and get their name out in the community too, and see what we can all do coming together to make this happen on Saturday. So.
The Lloydminster Motor Club will be holding their summer send-off event this Sunday. The send-off will feature a car show and multiple fundraising events. Josh Horlack has more.
Today, I'm joined by Randy Marsh from the Lloydminster Motor Club to discuss their summer send-off happening this Sunday. So this year's event is in support of Marcel MP. What's his story?
Yeah, so Marcel had, unfortunately, his house had burnt down, and so we're starting to do some recovery efforts for him for whatever he might deem necessary. Like, the guy lost his house, so I don't know what would be necessary, probably basic essentials really, but we're just trying to help his family out as best as we can and make a good event out of it too in the same aspect.
And what sort of events are you going to have going on the weekend?
There's the car show portion of it, and we're holding it from the Kinsman Hall all the way down to DG Tech. So there's going to be about 2.5-3 blocks worth of events and vehicles all hanging out there. And so in the Kinsman Hall, we're going to have our silent auction, and some of our vendors are going to be outside as well. I know A Cut Above is coming out. We're going to have a mini donut trailer, which I'm really looking forward to. And Gritstone's coming out as well. And then going over to DG Tech, they're going to be doing some more of the sound system stuff. I know EBH Contracting is actually loaning us a vehicle. We're going to have a motor blow competition as well. And we're just going to have a free raffle for the kids and just trying to do as much as we can to help out as many people as we can. Snowflake House actually is going to be handling a lot of the food portion of it, and whatever they raise is going to be donated back to their foundation. And we're also taking donations for the Lloydminster Kinsmen themselves as well.
And is there any admission prices or entry fees?
So all that stuff, like the vehicle entry is all by donation, whatever you can donate. And I know some guys, like it's tight right now, especially with the way COVID's been and stuff like that. I know some guys are probably trying to save their money for the silent auction, and that's totally cool too. People can come down. There's no admission fee for spectators and nothing like that. But yeah, it's all of it is 100% for the entry by donation, and everything we raise is getting donated back to the charities.
And then speaking of charities, what exactly is the Snowflake House Foundation?
So what they do is they help out with handicapped families that need a bit of a break. They'll offer up activities and things like that to these individuals, giving the families themselves a little bit of a break. But it's actually kind of nice because it takes them out of an element away from home, and it gives them new experiences that they might not experience at home. They meet new people, make new friends, and it helps them out, helps families out, and helps Snowflake House out too as well.
How many people do you have registered, or how many are you expecting for the event this year?
I've only got a couple pre-registered so far. It seems our number has commonly been 33 for about 4 years in a row. It's always been 33 cars. So I'm going to say 33, but it'll probably be more. I'm actually getting a lot more feedback online on our Facebook and on our Instagram. I've actually even seen last night some of the word is spanning out for as far as Edmonton and Saskatoon. So we're probably going to be getting some long distance people coming in for the day, which is be nice.
Where can people find more information on the event?
Just off of our Facebook page. We've got everything loaded up on there on our event page as well. Lloydminster Motor Club, LMC. You can find us on there, or even on our website as well, lloydmotorclub.blogspot.com. And we'll have everything on there. My contact information's on there. You can private message us, and one of us will get back to you promptly.
And then what type of donations would you guys be looking for the event?
We're doing, we've got a lot of the food already handled, so we're doing mainly just cash donations for Marcel. And yeah, it's like I know a lot of people have been giving us a lot of product donations, and that's a lot of the stuff that we put into for the silent auction. And I can easily say we've probably got about a good 30, 40, maybe even 50 items for our silent auction, which is going to be a lot of fun. And there's a wide variety of stuff too. It's not just automotive related. We've got a lot of restaurants that have stepped up, and they've given us dinner certificates and stuff like that. We've got a lot of companies around Canada that have been helping us out, and we are extremely grateful for everything that they've done for us. And it's we wouldn't be able to do it without the local businesses within Lloydminster.
Now Shelby Clark will take a first look at your upcoming weekend weather. Thanks so much, Jasmine. Now taking a first look at your weather forecast for here in the Border City, we are sitting at 19 degrees with a mix of some sun and clouds. So we are seeing a nice warm day today and seeing a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds. So hopefully everybody's enjoying this nice weekend coming up, because we will be seeing some good weather. Now taking a look at temperatures across the region over in Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most are sitting at 21, 22 degrees. Cold Lake and Bonnyville are a bit cooler at that 17-degree mark, and St. Paul is at 19 degrees. Over on this end here, Isla Cross and Green Lake are a bit cooler, sitting at 14 degrees, 16 over in Pierceland and 15 in Meadow Lake, 16 in St. Walburg, and Maidstone and Macklin are at 18 degrees, while North Battleford is in between there at 17. But speaking of North Battleford, overnight they will be going down to a low of 7 degrees with a couple clouds in sight there, but tomorrow they will be warming it back up to a high of 23 tomorrow with a mix of some sun and cloud. Switching over to Cold Lake, overnight they'll be going down to a low of 8 degrees, but they will be seeing a little bit more of clear skies, and tomorrow they will be warming up a couple degrees warmer there to a high of 19 with a mix of some sun and cloud, but they will probably be seeing a little bit more of a cloudier sky tomorrow. Now here in the Border City, overnight will be the warmest there with a low of 9 degrees with a lot more cloud coverage, but tomorrow we will be warming up as well to a high of 22 for a nice Saturday there with a little bit more cloud coverage, so make sure you're enjoying that nice weather while we can. And now switching over to our 3-day forecast. Saturdays, I was saying, we will be seeing a high of 22 and a low of 9. 29 degrees with a lot more cloud coverage. Sunday, we'll be seeing our warmest day of the weekend there with a high of 25 on Sunday and a low of 9 degrees. So we are seeing still warmer temperatures for our lows for the weekend. And on Sunday, we will be seeing a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds to what we will be seeing on Saturday. And Monday, we'll be starting off next week after this weekend with a nice warm day with a high of 24 on Monday and a low of 10 degrees with a lot more sun to start off next week. That's our first look at your weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break. Welcome back. The practice of declawing cats has now been made illegal in Saskatchewan. Jillian Cote has more.
The Saskatchewan Veterinary Medical Association voted September 12th to pass a bylaw banning declawing surgeries on domestic cats. Becca Lawrence is the community outreach manager with the Lloydminster SPCA and says they're glad the laws are changing.
It's illegal in over 40 countries already. So it's something that I think is a little bit, it needs to catch up a little bit as well. You know, a lot of people for a long time have seen it as inhumane.
The practice was already illegal in most Canadian provinces, including Alberta. Lawrence says the surgery doesn't just remove the animal's claw.
If you're looking at human hands, it's kind of basically getting rid of the top knuckle of their paw. So it's, you know, kind of removing the whole little socket and everything like that so that they don't grow back.
The surgery is known to change a cat's temperament. Lawrence says it puts the animal in a constant state of pain.
It can be the equivalent to wearing uncomfortable shoes, but they have to wear them 24/7 kind of thing. So a lot of the times, you know, if that pain does continue, we'll stop using the litter box because sometimes the litter can get into those sockets. And again, that can cause them pain. So they can start showing behavior issues because of the pain really that's starting in their paws. And it can kind of even sometimes completely change their whole personality.
For pet owners who want to manage their cat's claws, Lawrence recommends frequent trims or gel nail caps. Jillian Code, Primetime Local News.
Now we'll take a look at your egg prices. Do you love sports? Do you have no plans this weekend? If you answered yes to either of these questions, you're in luck. Evan Kenny has all the details for upcoming games this weekend and how you can catch them.
5 different junior and collegiate teams will be in action this weekend. Here at the Civic Center, the Lloydminster Bobcats will look to bounce back tonight against the Spruce Grove Saints. On Wednesday night, the Bobcats took a 9-2 loss against the Saints, who are currently ranked first in Canada. While the Bobcats have not been able to pick up a win in their first 3 games, head coach Nigel Dubé is still happy, not necessarily with the team's play, but rather with the fact that the team is playing.
I think just the excitement around the quick turnaround too. We're back to hockey, and when we're playing Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then next week, back to it Thursday, Friday, before the following week being Wednesday, Friday, Saturday again. I think it's just exciting when we can know that we're going to play those games and do that kind of stuff, and it should be a lot of fun.
The Civic Center will once again be packed when the Lloydminster Bandits host the Lac-La-Biche Clippers Saturday night. Spectators are required to wear masks and must provide proof of vaccination, a negative COVID test, or a medical exemption letter. Puck drop is at 5 p.m. Admission will be free. 3 Lakeland College teams will travel to Edmonton and take on Nate this Saturday. The women's hockey team will play their first ACAC opponent after taking on the Sherwood Park Steel of the Alberta Female Junior Hockey League last weekend. In soccer, each of the teams are coming off of a successful 2-win opening weekend and are looking forward to this challenge.
Again, in past years, man, I might have been afraid of this game, but this year, man, I'm more than ready for it. You know what I mean? I'm pumped for it. I think we can compete. I believe we can compete and still get a W, man. that's the thing I love about football, is that anybody can win, man, right? Anybody can win. Anybody can win.
Rustlers games can be watched on ACAC TV, with the women playing at 2 and the men playing at 4. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now Shelby Clark will take a look at your Friday forecast. Thanks so much, Jasmine. Now taking another look at your weather forecast. We'll be starting off with taking a look at temperatures across central Alberta and Saskatchewan here. On the Alberta side, most are sitting at that 22-degree mark, while Edson and Athabasca are at 21 degrees. Whitecourt is the warmest at 23 degrees, while Red Deer is actually the warmest at 24 degrees, and Jasper is at 21 as well. Looking over on this end here, a little bit cooler in most spots over in the Saskatchewan side, while Meadow Lake and Prince Albert are at 15 degrees. Melfort is the coolest there at that 14-degree mark, and North Battleford and Saskatoon are at 17. But switching over to our northern region of the provinces, as you can see, they are a lot cooler in those single-digit marks there, while Uranium City and Stony Rapids are at 8 degrees. Wollaston Lake is at 7 degrees. South End is at 10 degrees, while La Ronge and Flin Flon are at 13 and 12. And La Loche and Buffalo Narrows are sitting at that 12-degree mark as well. 20 degrees in Peace River and Slave Lake. Grand Prairie is a bit warmer. They're at 21 degrees. Fort McMurray and High Level are both at 15 degrees. And Fort Chipewyan is a bit cooler at that 10-degree mark. And switching over to our southern region of the provinces, as you can see, they are slightly a couple degrees warmer than most. Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, and Calgary are all at 23 degrees. Banff is at that 19-degree mark, while Coronation is at 22. Over on this end here, Yorkton is sitting at 15 degrees, 16 in Moose Jaw and Regina, and 19 degrees in Swift Current and Kindersley, while Estevan is at 17 degrees. But as we head back over to across the region, we're going to take a look at temperatures overnight tonight. We are warming up a couple degrees warmer to most places across the region. A low of 8 degrees in Meadow Lake, Isla Cross, Pierceland, and Bonnyville. A low of 7 in Paradise Hill, Unity, Murnum, and Provost. And Wainwright will be seeing a low of 9 degrees. So most will be still seeing slightly warmer temperatures overnight, and most will be seeing a couple clouds in sight throughout the night tonight, but no chances of some precipitation. Now taking a look at temperatures tomorrow across the region, we will be warming up a couple degrees warmer there in most spots. Some will be sitting at that 23 degree mark, while up in Lac La Biche and Isla Cross will be a bit cooler at that 18, 19 degrees tomorrow. And now switching over to our 7-day forecast for the border city. Saturday, as I was saying earlier, we are seeing a warmer days for this weekend with a high of 22 on Saturday with a lot more cloud coverage. Sunday, we'll be seeing our warmest day there for our weekend with a high of 25 with a mix of some sun and clouds. So hopefully everybody's got some nice plans to spend outside and enjoy that nice weather for the weekend. Monday, we'll be starting off next week with a high of 24 on Monday with a lot more sun. Tuesday, we'll be seeing a high of 22 with a lot more cloud coverage, but we will be seeing 40% chance of some precipitation there on Tuesday. Wednesday will cool down just a bit there to a high of 16 on Wednesday with a mix of some sun and cloud. And Thursday and Friday, we'll be seeing a high of 19 on Thursday and a high of 20 on Friday. That is another look at your weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break. I'm joined here now with author Heather Gooden, and for people watching who may not know too much about you, could you just tell our viewers about yourself?
My writing name is H.M. Gooden, and I write mostly more on the YA side, paranormal, fantasy, basically anything that involves myths and legends. That's kind of where I keep coming back to, and everybody needs magic. But my most recent book actually is nonfiction. I would call it more of a memoir style, but poetry, prose, just kind of short stories from different points in my life. So, yeah.
And speaking of your newest book, Passages, you kind of just explained a bit, but could you give a bit more background into how this book came along?
Well, it's actually, although it's my most recent book, it is probably the first thing that I actually wrote when I started writing again. I was up a lot for a period of about 3 years with babies. And at 3 a.m, you have a lot of time to think about things. And in between working full time and having these small children, and everything kind of feels like, the world is on your shoulders. And sometimes it also feels like you're the only person in the world. So a lot of those pieces helped me process both grief and these life stages and just my life in general. So it kind of came out of that. And I've always had a penchant for rhyming. And because of that, a lot of the pieces ended up being poems, but there's just kind of a collection of a lot of 3 a.m. musings in there.
And if readers are picking up the book, is that what they can kind of expect? Your kind of journey through different life stages, and maybe not even your journey, but just the journey.
Yeah. And so I kind of have separated it into chapters, but more just different things. So, childhood memories and that transition between life and death, between knowing and not knowing, dementia, motherhood, loss, grief, hope, just all of the things that will, unfortunately everybody will have them happen. And although sometimes we feel like we should be able to process the good things that happen, they can be things that we struggle with just as much as the bad things that we really don't want to ever experience.
And do you think writing a book and publishing a book like this that kind of talks about those topics is also a way of normalizing it a bit so people are more comfortable talking about it?
Absolutely. I think, just in my lifetime, and I guess say how old I am, but I've seen a lot of discussion over things I don't remember anybody talking about when I was a kid. I mean, miscarriage, even now, we're seeing that there's this wealth of people coming forward and describing their experience. And 20 years ago, nobody talked about it. And I know in my work, people that I've met that are going through it are always shocked to find out that, up to 50% of every pregnancy can end in a miscarriage, because we never hear about it. So how would you know that? Like, it feels like you're the only one going through those things. And the same thing with dementia. I mean, a lot of times people have never experienced anyone going through the process unless it's their first degree family member, because it is something that seems to be shut away, somewhere else, or in a hospital, or in a long-term care. And I think especially now with COVID kind of keeping us apart while also bringing us together, this is something that people are maybe becoming aware of again for the first time. Death hasn't been part of our culture in the last 30 years the way it is now. And yet it was just something so normal before. People would, have a wake. They would have a body laying in state in their house for 3 or more days. That was just part of the culture. And not one culture, but many cultures. So I think in some ways with modern society, we've gone away from these very normal beginnings and endings. And we just want to focus on, being busy and productive. And there's more to life than that.
And if anyone is looking to purchase this book or any of your other books, where is the best place to go?
So you can find all of my books online for sure. They're on Amazon, they're through Kobo. Basically, you can find them anywhere. I, again, right under the name H.M. Gooden, so they're usually going to be under that somewhere. You can buy them in a few chapter stores, and you can always order those in for people in Canada. You can order them from the chapters online site, which I believe is linked with Kobo. So they're basically anywhere you can find my name.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Heather.
Well, thank you for having me.
Vermilion Culture Fest is going to go ahead this weekend. They have made a few changes and adjustments to make sure they're complying with all the public health orders that are in effect, but you can still head out and be a part of this celebration coming up this weekend. Tomorrow you've got an opportunity to see a number of different performers, including the Mariachi Project, the Chinese Sunshine Dance Group, as well. There's going to be a number of local vendors, including some food vendors as well. On Sunday, Remembrance and Reconciliation, there's going to be a number of guest speakers, also Indigenous drummers and singers. This event is being hosted by Lloydminster and Vermilion for Equity. And to get all the details and the latest updates, just look for Vermilion Culture Fest on Facebook. The first ever Downtown Pumpkin Fest and Street Market is coming up next Friday, October the 1st. Starting at 4 o'clock next Friday, head for downtown Lloydminster. Outside Legacy DIY is where you're going to find a number of different things going on. And since it's Pumpkin Fest, you got to have a lot of pumpkins. There's going to be pumpkin carving, a chance for you to get some pumpkin pie through local vendors. There will be live music, a fall photo booth, a leather carving demo, barbecue, and more. It's coming up next Friday in downtown Lloydminster from 4 until 9 p.m. Coming up tomorrow, the Salvation Army in Lloydminster will be asking for your donations for their food drive. If you're able, they ask that you leave your donation on your front doorstep by 10 a.m. tomorrow. They're looking for a number of different items, including rice, cereal, pasta sauce, and so much more. So if you're able to make that donation, they would certainly appreciate it. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.